So about 2 years ago I uploaded a video onto this channel all about the best mobile apps for designers, listing 5 graphic design applications native to both Android and iOS devices, which can help you to do a little bit of creative design work on the go. Now upon rewatching this video myself, I have noticed that 2 out of the 5 apps I recommended back then are no longer available to download. So I thought we can't have that, we need to update this list immediately, yeah? Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel, the #1 place for people who love design, art and all things creative. You are watching Dantier and Balogh's channel, my name is Laszlo, and in today's video I'm going to recommend you yet another 5 graphic design apps which you can use on your phone to make your life as a designer just a little bit easier. Right out of the bat, just so you know, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape or form, so while you enjoy my raw, unfiltered honesty here, you can also rest assured that all of these apps on my list are either free or they at least have a usable free version. They work both on Android phones as well as iPhones, they are all easy and straightforward enough to use, and most importantly they are all actually useful. Because I personally got no patience for bloatware and advert-filled gimmicky software which forces you to buy into their ecosystem for no good reason. I believe all of these 5 apps, next to the ones that I mentioned 2 years ago, are all worthy of being installed onto your smartphones, okay? Let's do this. Okay, app number 1 on my list is Adobe Express. Adobe Express is the mobile app that Adobe replaced Adobe Spark Post with, the app I mentioned in my old video, which I was quite salty about initially cause, well, I really like the old app, but oh well, things change in this landscape quite quickly as you can see, hence I'm making this video. The idea behind Adobe Express is blatantly simple. This app is giving you a bunch of customizable design templates which are mostly geared towards making quick social media content on the go. You have the option to choose where the design will go to, you know, Instagram post or a story, YouTube thumbnails or whatever. Then you pick yourself a template, upon which the software lets you customize the piece to some extent. As you would expect, the paid version has the fancier bells and whistles, but I find that you can do quite a lot of things with the free one as well. You can of course customize all the copy, mess up the color schemes, add or replace some stock photography, or a bunch of additional vector shapes and assets onto your design. Once your static composition is ready, you can even add some basic animation effects onto your writing too. Now, if all these functions sound awfully familiar, you might have guessed which company Adobe is trying to compete with here. Yeah, you know, I really hope that we would never have to use the C word in one of my design videos. I avoided it the last time we talked about this topic, but you know what, the sheer fact that 2 years went by and Canva is still kicking about, in fact they are doing better than ever, can serve as proof that they have something good going on which we, the designers of the world, we shouldn't ignore it really. Most of you will probably know more about Canva than I. It is very similar to Adobe Express. I must say the only thing I use this app for sometimes is setting up our Instagram stories, whenever we have a new video coming out on this channel. If you have seen my old video, you know that I used to use Adobe Sketch for this little job, but since Adobe killed that app earlier this year, I thought I would give Canva a try. And you know what? I think for simple tasks like this, it's a pretty good tool. To be completely honest with you, I hate the way it looks. And I mean, this animation in particular is just so unnecessary. But oh well. Point is, if you already have a template set up, which you just need to utilize here and there, you could do what I do here and just pop images on a top layer to make a simple Insta story using Canva. Now saying all that, I still stand by what I have said 2 years ago in my old video about all this template-based content creation. These tools and functions just could not cut the mustard for any self-respecting graphic design professional as a primary tool. But you know what I had to learn over the last 2 years is at the same time it is unreasonable to expect everyone to pay into professional content creation tools like the Adobe suite. Some of you just want to create some graphics here and there, the cheapest way possible. And that's fine. Now the next app on my list is called Coolors, and I'm just going to go ahead and assume that this is how they want us to pronounce it, because it's basically, well, it's a rather clumsy abbreviation of the phrase cool colors, isn't it? Coolors. Do you feel it? Yeah, me neither. Putting the brand name aside, this is a simple but snappy color palette generator app that I find myself using more and more lately. As a designer, you probably have seen a bunch of similar applications to this one, God knows I tried a few, but I keep coming back to this app, as I just find it really user-friendly. It takes seconds to load up, there are no unnecessary extra functions in it, and it just does its job really well. You can start generating colors automatically here on the main screen, lock the shades you like and keep going with the others until you get a complete palette. Mess with the hierarchy and eventually you will get something you like the look of. There is a very well organized built-in color library as well here if you don't want to start generating your palette from zero. And of course, like in most of these apps, you can also use your phone's camera to take a quick snap of something you like the shades of out there in the real world, and use that as a base for your color palettes. Once you are done generating your palettes, you have the option to save out your finding in a bunch of different picture formats. It will give you the shades as well as the hexadecimal code, so you can go ahead and utilize them in your design workflow. Yeah, pretty cool. Moving on. Now the next app on my list is a classic good old sketching app. And in this field, I believe the best one you can download for free is Autodesk Sketchbook. Listen, I have tried many different applications in this niche, and the usual consensus tends to be that you get what you pay for. Free drawing apps usually suck. But I find Sketchbook, well, it sucks a bit less than most of the others, I just say that. While usually you get a very limited toolbox to work with in most apps like this one, here you get an array of different pencils, brushes, marker pens to scribble with, as well as some other rather interesting perspective bending mirroring functions which are, well, they're quite fun to experiment with actually. I gotta say I'm not big on the idea of sketching on my phone. Personally, I could never do any proper work in this environment, but you know, every now and then I find myself in situations where I got an idea for, I don't know, a quick logo or something, but I happen to be on a train or on a bus and I just got no pen and paper with me, just a phone. The user interface I'm not a huge fan of, it takes a bit of time to get used to, it feels a bit clumsy and confusing in places, at least on my Android phone. But again, since you get so much functionality for free here, I'm not sure that I have the right to complain, really. Now the last app on my list is a bit of a bonus one, it's called Google Lens. This differs from the others in a sense that it's not just a graphic design tool per se, but I still think it can be very useful for graphic design work in certain situations. Google Lens is essentially an image-to-text converter tool, one of those scanning apps that uses your camera in order to turn your images of words into actual workable text. Now before you start wondering, I'm well aware that if you are an iPhone user, you do get this function built into the iPhone's camera app. But believe me when I say Google Lens is better, like way better at doing its job. For one, Google Lens is able to turn your handwriting into workable text without a problem, even my genuinely awful handwriting. While Apple, as far as I know, struggles on that front, and can only really work with more mechanical looking, perfectly written writing, resembling printed fonts. In both systems you get the option to translate text in real time as well, but again, while Apple's language toolkit is still quite limited, Google Translate works with basically any language in the world at this point. Which also means that with Google, you can even translate handwriting in real time, in a very elegant way if you need it to, which is nuts as far as I'm concerned. Additionally, it can also do a bunch of other crazy, while somewhat unrelated things to the world of graphic design, like identifying objects, products, animals around you. It can even solve mathematical equations just by pointing your phone at one, which kinda makes me question everything, and I mean everything that I have learned back in school, back in the day, but yeah, that's a whole other topic for some other time, maybe for a future video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little updated list. Honestly, feel free to watch my old video on the topic as well from 2 years ago if you haven't seen it, because 3 out of the 5 apps that I mentioned in that one still hold up really well and I still find them very useful for my graphic design workflow. I like them just as much as I like these 5 that we just talked about, yeah? Now all regular creative crew members know that we don't just talk about graphic design apps and functions in this channel, but also illustration, architecture, interior decor and design, and basically everything else that we feel like fits in between these very broad topics, yeah? So if any of that interests you, feel free to follow along. Please leave a like to help us reach even more people with this channel, and I hope to see you next time for some other cool creative stuff we could be talking about here, yeah? Until then, see ya!